Alright, so hello and welcome everyone. Hello and welcome all of you to this particular channel of Pradhan Academy. So today we are live again, and if you remember in our previous class, in our previous session, we have been discussing with the quadratic equation, right? So if you were in the previous class of quadratic equation, we have covered the numerical type questions on quadratic equation, right? Now I plan to take the MCQ types questions also for the quadratic equation. So that for that, I'm basically taking this part 2 of this particular session. Okay, earlier I planned for 2 hour session, but rather I'm splitting up into two different 1 hour sessions. Okay, so this is basically the part 2 of the quadratic equation that you had yesterday. So this is basically part 2. Okay, so we are back again with this quadratic equation chapter, and if you recall that in the previous class we have been discussing with the important topics as well as questions on quadratic equation, especially the questions type were basically integer type questions, right? And if you were able to solve those questions, then I think you are almost going to be good with the concepts. Okay, especially the basic part is clear, then you will be able to solve any types of questions. Okay, so keeping those things in mind, let's get started on this particular topic. And if you're new to this particular channel, I will say that please consider subscribing to the particular channel, because we are basically getting live each and every day, and we are helping out all of the students for preparing for the upcoming mains, advanced, and other examinations that are basically held over the country. And if you are preparing for BITSAT examination, don't worry, I am basically coming live after the JEE advanced examination is over. We are also going to live launch some contents especially for BITSAT examination. Okay, so students preparing for BITSAT, it is going to be a very wonderful opportunity to prepare for BITSAT examination along with this channel. So please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to never miss out any upcoming notification. Along with that, if you are a NEET aspirant, please stay tuned to this channel, because we are also basically taking some lectures on chemistry, physics, as well as your biology for your upcoming NEET examination. So stay tuned for this particular channel. Right, now with this part, let's get started. So today, and before I start, as I mentioned in the previous class, that we are also going to start up live online batches for the JEE Mains and JEE Advanced 2026 and 2027. For that, please contact this particular number that is mentioned over here. Please contact this number over here, and the price of the batching is starting from rupees 999. Okay, and if you want more further details regarding this batch, how is this batch going to occur, what is the schedule of the batch, you can always find the details of this particular batch in this particular contact number. So do contact this particular number to get all the details. Okay, do contact this particular number for details, and once you are done enrolled, you will be getting access to the live batches. Okay, so we are basically getting live, and this particular live batch is going to start very soon. So do consider enrolling for these classes if you feel that you need help in your portion, for especially for preparing for mains and advanced. Okay, the pricing starts from rupees 999. And with this all these things, today our goal is to practice the previous year questions of quadratic equation, and we are going to practice the MCQ questions. Okay, so before we start, now I have taken up the question that I gave you as a homework in the previous class. So if you were in the previous class, if you recall, then this was the question that I asked you to solve as a homework, and let me know the answer in the comment sections. Okay, so tell me, what is the answer did you get? Did you try to solve this question? Anyone, did you try to solve this question? Okay, so let us see how we try to solve these kinds of question, but it involves a infinite sequence, right? It's kind of an infinite series that is going on, or a sequence kind of thing is there, right? So we have to basically find the integer value of this particular expression. Now looking at the expression, you might not get any idea or how to proceed on this expression, right? But what I see, that this kind of expression, whenever I see this kind of expression, I feel that this kind of part is repeating, right? This particular part is repeating. So this particular part is repeating. So rather, let us consider square root of 4 minus 1 upon root 3 by 1 upon 3 root 2, and square root of 4 minus 1 upon 3 root 10, so on, as some variable y, right? So if I assume this, then my this particular part, then the part starting from here, let me mark it over here, then my part starting from here can be replaced by a simple expression as y, because this expression is going till infinity. this expression is going till infinity, so I can replace this particular part over here with y, right? So what I'm trying to write is that I can write square root of 4 minus 1 upon 3 root 2 into y as also equals to y, right? Now this is very important idea to understand. Okay, now these types of questions are very favorite for your advanced as well as for your mains also. Okay, so someone preparing for the 2026 mains, you can remember this kind of pattern of the questions. Okay, so now if you try to further simplify this part out over here, you can take a square on both the side, and this will basically become equals to 4 minus 1 upon 3 root 2 y, right? And then if you simplify this further, it is going to be taking on the form of, sorry, it's going to take the form of as follows: 3 root 2 y square, 3 root 2 y square plus y minus 2 root 2 is equal minus 12 root 2 is equal to 0, right? So therefore we will have the form of the quadratic equation involving y as of this following form. Now from this quadratic equation, if I solve for the value of y, I will get two values of y. So let us solve by using the quadratic formula. So the y is going to be equals to minus 1 plus minus is going to be square root of 289 divided by 6 root 2, right? So that is going to be minus 1 plus minus 17 upon 6 root 2, right? That is going to be the y values, right? So from here we'll get two multiple values of y. Now y will be equals to, now since y cannot be negative because y is basically square root of some value and square root function is always positive, therefore y is equals to 8 upon root 3 by 2, y 8 upon 3 root 2, sorry. Okay, so therefore the value of y we will get over here is basically 8 upon 3 root 2, right? So from this particular value of y, we can substitute it over here. Therefore this particular expression, that is 6 plus log 3 base 3 by 2, and this expression is 1 upon 3 root 2 into y, right? So if I substitute this expression over here, this value is going to come out simply as 6 plus log of 4 by 9 and base 3 by 2, right? So just I simplify this further and I can write it as 6 plus log of base 3 by 2, and this can be written as 3 by 2 whole to the power minus 2. Therefore this value is going to come out as 6 minus 2, which is basically equals to 4. So therefore the integer value of this part of the expression is equals to 4. I hope this particular part is clear to all of you. Are you all getting the answer as equals to 4? Are you all getting the answer as equals to 4? Please let me know. Please let me know what is the answer you are getting. Please let me know what is the answer you are getting. So from this particular part of the solution, you will get the answer to this particular question as equals to 4. Shrey, is it important to assume? Yes, it is important to assume. Otherwise, how will you simplify this particular infinite sequence over here? Okay, because if you assume it as y, then the sequence become much simpler to solve. Okay, because then you can replace y with a y equation, right? And from there you will get a quadratic equation kind of thing. So you are able to get one equation in y, and from that equation in y you will get the value, okay, of this expression much simpler way. So that's why it's important to assume. Okay, is this part clear to all of you? Is this portion of the solution clear to all of you? Please remember, this kinds of question is very important, especially for advanced. Okay, for advanced these kinds of questions are very important, so please keep it a note. Okay, that this kind of expression what I'm doing over here is a very important trick. Science TV, is it hard? No, it's not hard. Once you know the concept, it's very simple. Is it hard? Okay, the question is up to you. Okay, if you feel hard, try to rewind this video, try to watch it again. Okay, maybe you will get it the second time. Okay, the concept is very simple. We are trying to assume an unknown quantity over here with some quantity, and then I'm relating a closed loop equation with that. Okay, so that is my idea over here, and I'm trying to get the solution based on this particular idea, right? I hope you will be able to get this. So with this part, let's move to the next problem. So I hope all of you are getting the answer as equals to 4, right? So with this part, let's move to the next problem. Now this was the second homework problem that I have been asking you to do in the previous class, right? So if you look at this problem over here, it is asking you to find the number of distinct real roots for this particular expression, for this particular equation over here. So let us say the given equation, f of x is given as x to the power 4 minus 4x cubed plus 12x squared plus x minus 1, and I have to equal it to 0, and I have to find out the number of distinct real roots for this particular expression. Right. So how will I do for it? Right. Now, in order to solve this kinds of question where I have to find out the number of distinct real roots, what I have to do is that first of all I have to take the help of calculus, because this is a biquadratic equation. This is a biquadratic equation, and in order to get to the roots or distinct roots or real roots for this particular expression, I don't have any particular analytical methods in order to solve this particular kinds of problems, right? Rather, I will take the help of curve sketching and I will try to get an idea or the feel of the number of real roots. Okay, so what I'm going to do first of all is that let us first of all differentiate this function first one time. Okay, so if I differentiate this function one time, then the value I'm going to get is that I'm going to get it as 4x cubed minus 12x squared plus 24x plus I will be having 1, right? So then I can take 4 common, then this is going to be x cube minus 3x squared plus of 12, 6. Also I can take x also as common, right? So x also I can take common. So I can take 4x common, then it will be x squared minus 3x plus 6, and then 1 will be left out, right? Now rather from here I have no implication. Then if I try to find out what is the second derivative to get the concavity nature, then second derivative will be coming out as 12x squared minus 24x plus of 24, that I can also write it as, so if I take 12 common, it will be x squared minus 2x plus of 2. Now interestingly, if you see that f double dash of x will has no real root. Okay, it will have no real root, because if we look at the quadratic over here, it has no real root, has no real root. Okay, no real roots, because this particular quadratic equation it will have over here has a discriminant which is less than 0. The discriminant is less than 0, so therefore it will have no real root. It will have no real root, right? Now if f dash of x has no real root, and since this discriminant is less than 0 and a is positive, so therefore f double dash of x is always positive, right? So f double dash of x is always positive. Now the next thing that you have to understand that what I'm going to use over here is that the simple principle of Rolle's theorem. So if you recall what is the Rolle's theorem, okay, so if you recall what is the Rolle's theorem, it is said that if a particular function is continuous and differentiable in the interval a to b, let us say I have an interval from a to b, and if the function, let us say I have a function very arbitrary like this, and if the function is continuous, okay, see, for continuous in the interval, closed interval a to b, and differentiable on the open interval a to b, and the function value at f of a and f of b are equal. Let us say the function value at f of a and f of b are equal. Let us try to draw the curve in that way. Okay, let us say the function value at f of a and f of b are equal. Okay, in that case, by the statement of Rolle's theorem, I can say that f dash of c will be equal to 0. F dash of c will be equal to 0, because for all c belonging in between a and b, so there will be any point c in between this interval a to b, at least one point. Okay, there will be at least one point. So I should mention this. There should be at least one point where f dash of c is equal to 0, where f dash of c is equal to 0. So there will be at least one point where f dash of c is equal to 0. So therefore what I can also say that in between, so let us say I have the curve like this, so in like this, where the a and b are, x equals to a and b are the roots of the following equation. So what I'm saying that in between the roots of the following equation, there will be one point where f dash of c will be equal to 0. So in between two roots, there will be one point where f dash will have one root. So what I'm trying to say, if f of x has two roots, then the f dash of x will have at least one root. And in turn I can also say that f double dash of x has no roots, right? So by using this statement, so what I can say, if f dash of x, if f double dash of x has zero roots, if f double dash of x has zero roots, then it is bound to say that f dash of x will have at least one root, right? And in that case, I can say that if f dash of x is equal to 0 for at least one place, then f of x will have two roots, which is basically by using the statement of the Rawls theorem. So please try to understand that what I'm trying to say is that if f dash of x is equals to 0 for one particular value, then f of x will be having at least or maximum of two distinct real roots, right? So therefore, because one more thing that you can understand over here is that if you put f of 0 is basically equals to minus of 1. F of 0 is equals to minus of 1, right? So therefore, what I can say from here that, so if you look at this particular expression over here and this particular expression over here, let us try to find out where am I getting f dash of x equal to 0, right? So therefore, based on that particular expression where I'm having f dash of x equal to 0 and the case where I'm having f of x equal to 0, so I will be able to say that at least it will have two distinct real roots. So therefore, the number of distinct real roots for this particular case will be equals to 2. So the number of distinct real roots for this case is equals to 2. So the numeric answer to this particular question is equals to 2. I hope you got the answer of this question, right? So there will be two distinct real roots for this case as mentioned over here, right? So I hope the solution was clear to all of you. What I try to do is basically I try to analyze the statement of Rawls theorem. I want to get into IIT Delhi. Can I get it? Yes, you can get it. Science TV. You can definitely get it. Vivid Tales. Yes, sir, you got it. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Right. So I hope this particular part of the solution is clear to all of you. Right. Okay. So keeping these things in mind, let's move to the next problem. Okay. I hope this particular part of solution is clear. And keeping these things in mind, please move to the next problem. Okay. All right. So the next problem that I have taken it over here is another important question from the previous year JEE advanced paper, that is to find the minimum or the smallest possible values of k for which both of the roots of this particular equation that you have it over here should be real, distinct and have the least value at least 4. So it's a question of location of roots. Okay, it's a very standard question of location of roots. It's a very standard question of location of roots. Please try to solve this question. Please try to solve this question over here. Please try to solve this question. So what the question is saying that if you have a quadratic equation, the quadratic equation mentioned as x square minus kx plus 16 times of k square minus k plus 1 is equal to 0. From this particular equation, you have to find out that particular smallest value of k for which both the roots, so let us say it has roots as alpha and beta, and you have to have both the roots are real and distinct. Okay, both the roots are real and distinct, and also will have the least value, so both of the roots. So what I can also say that the maximum of alpha and beta should be less than 4, because both of the roots should have at least 4. Sorry, at least 4 means greater than 4, right? Or I should say minimum of that then, in that case. So the minimum of alpha and beta should be at least 4, right? Should be greater than 4. That is what you have to find it out. We will tell I got 98.12% second attempt. Getting NIT, am I getting NIT Warangal in this? Yes, depends. Vivid, can you please tell me which state do you belong from? Okay, if you have state quota, then it is quite easy to get in into NIT Warangal with this particular percentile. Okay, and please tell me what is your current, what is your desired branch or which particular department you want to get into. You are from West Bengal. Vivid. Okay, see, since you got 98.12 percentile and getting into NIT Warangal on this particular general quota, and keeping in mind this particular thing, then if you look into the branches like metallurgy or maybe some other branches biotechnology, you may be able to get that particular branch. Okay. So maybe in the counseling in the 5th or 4th round of like that, he may be able to get that particular branches in NIT Warangal. Okay, rather what I would say, we will tell is that since you got 98.12 percentile, okay, since you got 98.12 percentile, I would say rather try for NIT Durgapur. Okay, rather try for NIT Durgapur, but in that case you will be getting the advantage of the state quota. Okay, you can try for NIT Durgapur, electrical, mechanical. Okay, I cannot say about the chemical or civil or CS is not possible, because at 98%, 98.12% CS is not possible. Maybe biotechnology is possible, biotechnology, chemical. But first of all, decide what kind of engineer do you want to become. Okay, first of all, you have to think and what particular branch of engineering are you interested in. Okay, because this is very important choice. Okay, you live in Asansol and Durgapur is near. Yeah, then it's a wonderful choice. See, if you live in Asansol and Durgapur is very near to you, right? It's just a 1 hour ride. You take a bus and you go to Durgapur, right? So maybe you don't have to take the hostel also. Okay, maybe you can opt out for the hostel option. Maybe you can stay in your home also, right? So that is a wonderful advantage in that case. Okay. So if you see, first of all, it is totally upon your interest. Okay. First of all, decide what is your interest. Okay. If your interest is basically to get into department like mechanical, like electrical, like civil, then if you are getting this kind of branches in any of the top IITs, what I would say in my case, in my opinion, is that you should try for NIT Rourkela. Okay, and you should also keep NIT Warangal in the top choice also. That's not an issue, but you should also try for NIT Rourkela. Okay, because NIT Rourkela is also good with that particular branches. Okay, especially branches like mechanical, electrical are very good for NIT Rourkela. Okay, even in NIT Durgapur also, electrical, mechanical is very good. Okay, they have excellent professors. Okay, even I have encountered some of the professors while in my conference. Okay, some of the conference which I've attended, sometimes I have encountered with people from NIT Durgapur also. I have found a good amount of research is also going on there. Okay, so maybe based on that I can say that the electrical and mechanical are also very good. Okay, see, one more thing is that I would say my priority for NITs, if you are near to Asansol and since you are from West Bengal, first of all, you should put like obviously NIT Warangal, you keep it as the first choice, but rather also you keep as the second part as NIT Rourkela, and then if you put NIT Durgapur, and along with that you can also put IIEST Shivpur. Okay, that would be my recommendation to you. Is it clear? If we tell. Okay. Now, since you got a very good percentile, 98.1 percentile, you should also think of preparing for advance. Okay, don't give up for the advance. Please prepare for the advance. At least if you get a good rank, at least you qualify the cutoff marks, then we will be eligible for getting into IITs also, right? So in that case, you will have a lot of opportunities to choose from. Okay, Vivit tells. So please focus on this question. Okay, so let us try to focus on this question over here. Let us come back. We'll keep on having discussion. Don't worry. Okay, so first and foremost thing, since these roots are real and they are distinct, so I will be having the discriminant to be greater than 0. So let us try to equate the discriminant to be greater than 0. So from this particular condition, if the discriminant is greater than 0, then I will get the condition that is k should be greater than 1. K should be greater than 1. That is my first condition. So from the discriminant greater than 0, k should be greater than 1. Right, that I have get it from here. That is 64k square minus 64 times of k square minus 1 plus k should be greater than 0, right? So from this particular case, you can find it out that k should be greater than 1. The k should be greater than 1. And then if the minimum of alpha beta should be at least greater than 4, what you have to understand over here is that now if your roots and have value at least 4, okay, very sorry. Actually, I tried to understand the question in a different way. The question is talking about that you have to for which both of the roots are real and distinct and have value at least 4, right? So what I'm going to do is that now if the values are at least 4, so if I have a quadratic equation like this where the roots are alpha and beta, if the values are at least 4, that basically means that if I put f of 4, I'll be getting it's a positive value, right? It should be a positive value because here you can see that that the coefficient of x square is positive, so therefore the or the quadratic equation is going to be opening upward, right? So f of 4 should be greater than 0. So based on this condition, you will get the condition that the condition is k square minus 3k plus 2 should be greater than or equal to 0. And from this condition, you will get the values of k that is basically lying between that is basically lying between minus infinity to 1 union should be open closed interval 1 union 2 to infinity, right? Therefore, from this particular intersection where k should be greater than 1 and k is basically lying in between this condition, so therefore you will feel that the minimum value of k, so from this particular condition you will get the minimum value of k that is possible is equals to 2. So therefore the smallest possible values for which you will have this particular condition satisfied is equals to 4, sorry, is equals to 2. So the minimum value is equals to 2. Is this part of the solution clear to all of you? Is this part of the solution clear to all of you? See, we will tell, don't think that the time is very less for advance, okay? If you see, if you have already scored a good percentage in mains, that basically means your concepts are very clear, right? So try it out. Maybe you get a not a very good rank, but please try it out, okay? Don't give it up. Don't give it up, okay? So especially for advance, please don't give it up. Please try it again, okay? We will tell, are you appearing for the WBJEE exam? Did you appear for the WBJEE exam? Yes, no? Okay, so with this part, okay, that's a very big mistake that you have committed, okay? You haven't given WBJEE exam, that's a very big mistake. We will tell, don't think for drop. See, you have a good percentile in mains, okay? Don't think of a drop. See, if you have a percentile like 93 or less, then you have to think of drop, okay? But I would have suggested that you should have given the WBJEE examination, okay? Because that would have given you the better college, Jadavpur University, okay? That would have been a wonderful choice for you. Sir, I want IIT Delhi. See, we will tell because you see that if you have a good preparation for JEE Advanced, then you can definitely get IIT Delhi, okay? See, college will matter, of course, but first of all, what more matters more is that first of all, know your interest. First of all, know your interest, okay? Try to know your interest first of all, then you will try to decide on what particular college you will be taking up. Okay. So please try to solve this question. No, WBJ is very, very simple, okay? WBJ is very simple, okay? It's a very simple examination and you don't need any different kind of preparation, okay? Especially for WBJEE, you don't require any separate preparation. With the preparation that you have in JEE Mains, you can definitely give a WBJEE examination. Okay. All right. So let's try to solve this question over here. We have a question which is a MCQ type questions. Okay. So if you look at this question over here, it is saying that there are two quadratic equations and the roots of the quadratic equation are given as follows, right? So A and B denotes the distinct roots of the quadratic equation, this particular quadratic equation over here, and C and D denotes the complex roots of the quadratic equation over here, right? So first and foremost thing, if you recall, the summation of root is basically equals to minus 20 and A into B is equals to 2020. Similarly, C plus D is equals to 20 and C into D is equals to minus 2020, right? Now based on this particular thing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to simplify this particular expression over here. It's a very simple question. If you try to simplify this expression, you'll get this expression as simplified as a square in common C plus D minus a common C plus D, C square D square plus B square in common C plus D minus B in common C square plus D square, right? Now based on this particular expression, what I can also simplify and write it as, this particular expression I can write it as C plus D multiplied with a plus B whole square minus 2ab minus of a plus b in common C plus D whole square minus 2cd. Now you know all the values of C plus D, a plus b, ab, a plus b, C plus D and cd, and you put them back into this equation, you will get the value of the particular solution as equals to 16,000. 16,000 is going to be the required value of this particular answer, and therefore you will get option number D as the correct answer. Okay, so this was one of the most simplest question that has been asked so far in the advanced paper, especially from quadratic equation. Especially when you are the first time you looking the question, it might look bit difficult in the first go, but it's a very simple question. Okay, so this is all for the class for the quadratic equation. especially for JEE Advanced, okay, and this might take for the particular exam. All right, now you will be also having some upcoming live classes on the different topics. So the next topic is going to be binomial theorem. So stay tuned for the binomial theorem. We are going to come up live very soon for the preparation for binomial theorem. Okay, so with this I end my session over here, and thank you for your attention.